What is going on today, guys? We have some big things to talk about with Clover Health Investments because they did pop 40% today. And is this the next big short squeeze? I don't know, but it sure does look like it. They have an over 40% short interest, as well as they are currently going through a major gamma squeeze, which will lead to shorts covering. So we're going to get into everything you guys need to know, as well as the technical analysis, the key levels that I am watching, and the trade that I am going to put on. Now, before we do get into it, make sure to tap, tickle, touch, or smash the like button, as well as comment down below and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to help support the channel in a greater way, there's my buy and sell alerts link down below in the description. As soon as I make a trade on this or any other stock, you will be notified when I make the trade and when I sell out. So with that being said, let's jump right into it, guys. I don't want to waste any more time. And like I said, they popped about 41% today. Actually, they're up 8.72% in after hours on some very, very strong volume here, guys. We are seeing just super good volume, and they are currently at $12.94. They were at about 13.25, I believe, at the highest. So they are having a huge day today. And first thing I want to point out is the gamma squeeze. We know for sure this is going on, but with the Ortex data, there is something called T+2, so transaction day plus 2 days. So the data that we are going to look at for Clover Health Investments, which was still heavily shorted, but that was on Thursday. So I do think the biggest factor here is the gamma squeeze, and shorts are probably starting to cover, but we won't know this data until about Wednesday. So let's get into which options. Look at these 17,000, almost 18,000 in volume at the money for expiring June 18th. And if you go down the chain, 14,000, 42,000, 7,800, 4,600, which is really high for Clover Health, especially before everything just happened. And take a look at this one, 54,000, that is now in the money. So with gamma squeezes, once these, let's say these $12 calls, right, Clover Health Investments was about $8 a couple days ago. The higher this does go with all these options, you're talking 11,000, 46,000, 50,000, and 54,000. They have to buy 100 shares per contract once they do get close to in the money. So once you run up from $8 to $12, you are buying hundreds of thousands, if not millions and millions of shares to hedge these options positions. Now, it pretty much goes on and on down the chain just like that. Even if you come out to the July 16th, we are still very high, 10,000, 7,000, 16,000, 4,300, and so on and so forth. And you can see in the money contracts are very high on volume as well. So this is a gamma squeeze, and the great thing about gamma squeeze is, like I said, the gamma squeeze usually leads to shorts having to cover, and I do think that is going to be the case here. Check this out, guys. We have 44.31% estimated short interest percentage of free float, and an estimated 49.8 million shares that are currently sold short. And with the T+2 data, this data is actually being read from Thursday of last week, because you have the day of transaction plus 2 additional days before all the data does come in. So this is from Thursday of last week. We had borrowed shares of 1.97 million, return shares or shares that were covered at 63.8 thousand. So that is a net gain to the short interest of 1.91 million shares. It's crazy they are still shorting this. Even, I mean, Thursday was a pretty good day for Clover Health Investments as well, but it is just wild how fast this did go. From January 15th, 2021, we were at 8.11% short interest of free float. Now, as far as the last time it was reported to the exchanges, the 14th of May, we were at 36%, but it is currently at 44.31%, as the Ortex data does say, and they are very accurate. They get about 85% of the short interest data. So there's about 15% that does not get reported to Ortex. So this number could even be a little bit higher. Now, as far as the utilization, it is at 98.07. And you can think about this: out of 100% of shares that could be lent out, 98% of them are lent out. So this just tells you how hard it is to get your hands on shares of Clover Health Investments to actually sell short. Now, something else I do want to point out to you guys is the average days that these shares are on loan. That is 42.62 days is the average short position in Clover Health Investments, which does make sense if a lot of these short shares were shorted in this $15-14 range. That makes a lot of sense. They're holding this all the way down, and they had a pretty nice gain, especially if they shorted at about $17, which was our previous high. The thing here, guys, is with the average days of loan being 42.62%, you pay this cost to borrow of 2.38% every single day. You're paying that. So if you have a big position in Clover Health Investments, a big short position, you are paying a lot in interest to keep this open for 42.62 days. As the price starts to go up, that eats away at your short position gain. So you are more likely to cover your position a lot faster than you would if it kept going down. Now, we did have a huge volume spike today. We had 116.5 million for total volume that was traded today. So if I were to imagine my total speculation, a lot of people that made money in AMC or other stocks are turning an eye to Clover Health Investments. Given the short interest is super high, there is a high incentive to actually do so. Now, getting further into the technical analysis, we could see our 50-day moving average, if we are on the 10-minute candlesticks, is sitting at $11.58, totally riding this trend line. And that's the first thing I'm going to point out, is this clear trend line all the way up. We have quite a few bottoms that actually hit the trend line, and then we bounce right back up and continue to go higher. So I expect something along the same lines going into tomorrow. Maybe we get a smaller day as far as consolidation, but I don't think that's the case. Even though we did have this huge rally to the upside today, I think it's likely to continue tomorrow. Now, like I said, 50-day moving average currently at $11.64, 200-day moving average at $9.82. So I do think potential downside right now. I'm just gonna say at this 50-day moving average, if we do cross under this, that'll be a bearish sign. I just don't think that's the case. There definitely is more upside potential here than downside potential. Now, I do want to pull this out to the 2-hour candlesticks. Take a look at what we were looking at. So we are at about $13 right now. We are at somewhat of a resistance level at about $13.50, but nothing too crazy. Once we get to about $14.50, that is when you hit a steeper resistance level. So I'm going to mark that right here. I think given the circumstances, though, that'll be a really easy level to break. That's $14.50, and then, I mean, after that, you're looking at about $17 to be your upper end resistance level, a little bit around $15.80. So I'll go ahead and mark that as well, $15.80 on the chart. But overall, it looks really good. And if we come to the MACD, that is very good. Look at these inflows, guys. It's nothing compared to the small outflows we've seen in pre-market today. Look at those inflows. It's insane. And then the MACD has been bullish all day. That is when the CCC line is above the blue signal line, and that is where we currently ended the day. They are starting to converge just a little bit, but I don't expect to go bearish on the MACD whatsoever. We've only had a little sell-off of about 20 cents from the high, 30 cents maybe from the high, so all does look very good. As far as, like I said, potential downside, it's at about $11.63. That is where the moving average is on the 10-day candlesticks. But if we're going to go further than that and take a look at another downside level, it's at about $11 where we're going to see some good support start to come back in. That's where we kind of chilled out today and even fell and bounced off of that and then continued the rally to the upside. So all does look good here. I do expect a big move to come out of Clover Health Investments. But as far as how I want to trade this, I want to get a little bit of time, so I'm not too jazzed about the June 18th contracts. The July 16th look very good though, and considering our highs on the last rally, the high was about $18, but the real high, if you don't include the wick on that massive candle, was about $17. So I do think the $16 or the $15 strikes are pretty good. You have a lot of time, so if we do get back to that level, that $18 level, these will be a couple dollars in the money. If you get the 15, they'll be $300 in the money. You'll get that extra premium baked on top of that, and if you're buying it for $185, you could see a tremendous return here, and that is pretty much what I'm looking at. You do have quite a bit of volume for the day, 16,463 contracts, so it shouldn't be too hard to get filled or to sell out if you wanted to. The bids and asks are super tight right here, $5 bid and ask, so it's the tightest it can get on pretty much every single option. So there's a lot of liquidity flowing into these options, causing the gamma squeezes. Now, if you're just bullish on the company overall, and I'm not talking about any news because there isn't any news to go along with this trade, it's more of a technical trade as well, just squeezing out the shorts. If you're just really bullish on it, though, you can't go wrong with the January 20th, 2023. And I actually was reading an article how there's unusually high option activity on the $20 strike. That was a couple days ago, about 4 days ago. So there have been some eyes on this $20 strike for January 20th, 2023, but not as nearly as much activity as far as liquidity. So it's going to be harder to get filled and to sell out if you wanted to. Same thing with the January 21st, 2022. Let's see where you start to get some liquidity. Not even on the Decembers, probably on the August. You're going to see higher volume. Yeah, higher volume definitely on the August. So if you were to go further out, I would probably do the August, but be ready to quick flip them, as well as the Julys. Julys have a lot of volume too, like I was saying. So I do think the 15 is really, really good, up to about 17. Even though you could go higher than that, you're going to get more bang out of your buck being closer to the money. So that is pretty much all for this video. That is how I would trade this. And I actually do want to buy some shares in this. After this video, I might go ahead and buy a couple shares. But I do like the options here more for the leverage, the intensely high short interest we have. I don't even know any other way to call it. About half the shares are sold short, so they're definitely going to have to cover it. Mix that with the gamma squeeze. I think it could be really good here and probably go to all-time highs. If I were to imagine around $20, $25, it's really hard to tell when the short interest is so high. But this is what I'm looking forward to tracking on the channel. So if you guys want to be a part of that, make sure to hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel and comment down below. Are you playing Clover Health Investments? Are you playing a different stock? Let me know another stock that you are playing that is prone to a short squeeze. I would love to hear from you guys and pretty much respond to every single comment. And if you guys want to get up to $70 in whatever free stock that you want, use the link for public down below in the description. No deposit necessary, no need to even link a bank account, and you can even link a debit card or credit card. So that is pretty cool. No reason not to. You get to choose the stock and it is free and you get it right away. So let me know as well what stock you choose to get down below in the comment section, as well as check out the buy and sell alerts link in the description as well as in the pinned comment. I will see you guys later. Until next time, take care.